Ladies and gentlemen, gather around the virtual campfire. It's time to make a video I should have been making a long time ago, but I was too scared because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy to criticize the Falcons. I was always in the mindset of, I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do I know? The Falcons players, coaches, general managers, they're all in the NFL for a reason. What do I know? They're going to figure this out. But 8 years and no playoffs, let alone 8 years and not even a winning season, I don't know if they got this figured out. I don't think so. We sit here at 3-7. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs this year. I just don't want to be the nice guy anymore. I don't want to be the nice guy. I love this team, but at the same time, I just think a part of life is to make sure you say tough love. Say things that maybe you don't want to say. The things or the people that you love, they don't want to hear it, but they should. And that's what this video is. And by the way, our special guest joining us today is our new kitten named Remy. He might crawl around my back. He might crawl around this screen. We'll see what he does. But anyway, it's time to collect our thoughts. It's time to gather around the virtual campfire, discuss how did we get here, how do we get out of here. View this as my customer review as to what I don't like the Falcons doing right now and how I think we should get out of this. And whether the Falcons organization wants to listen to this or not is up to them, but I hope I have some good advice. But if not, hey, Falcons fans, I think, just need to vent out their feelings anyway, so I hope I can be a good venter, I guess. How did we get here? We're going to go over everything from the general manager to the head coach, the quarterback play. I'm telling you right now, we're going to get to Terry Fontenot. We're going to get to the head coach, Raheem Morris. But I first want to start with ownership in Arthur Blank. If you had asked me, do I think Arthur Blank is an issue for the Falcons? If you had asked me this before even the 2025 season, I would have told you nope. I would have said he's great. He has nothing to do with any of this. He has nothing to do with football. And, I think I'm wrong about that after all these years. But I do want to clarify that I love Arthur Blank. I think he's a great owner. I think he does a lot of things right, actually. He donates to good cause. He built a great stadium. Or he helped build a great stadium. And the NFLPA grades, I think he was like the third most beloved owner in the league. So the players and the community and the organization at the Falcons, they love this dude. And I don't really blame them because he seems like a great guy. And I think he deserves to be our owner. I think he deserves to see a Super Bowl for the Falcons. He does a lot of great things for this team. And I don't think it's like we need to get rid of Arthur Blank to solve our problems. Actually, I think we need to keep Arthur Blank to keep our Falcons' hopes to win a Super Bowl alive, just because he's such a great owner. But at the same time, he's not perfect. And I think his biggest issue, ironically, is his biggest strength as well. His biggest strength that happens to be his biggest issue is that he is too comfortable and he is too forgiving. The Falcons have had consistent 7-win seasons so many times. Since 2017, we have never had a winning season. And let me tell you the Falcons' record. Ever since 2018, we went 7-9. 2019, 7-9. 2020, 4-12. 2021, 7-10. 2022, 7-10. 2023, 7-10. 2024, 8-9. And we sit here in 2025 at 3-7. We're probably not going to get 7 wins, but we're going to get worse than 7 wins. And that's not where we should have been. And I know it's like, well, what does Arthur Blank have to do with this? He has nothing to do with drafting the players that Terry Fontenot has drafted. He has nothing to do with coaching the players like Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins and all this stuff. But I think where Arthur Blank has an issue with this is this whole building, the Falcons building, is too comfortable and they settle. Because the locker room is great, the barber shop in there, I think there's a barber shop in there. It's awesome to have that. The stadium is cool. Arthur Blank is a cool guy. And he brings in the people that the Falcons want to see. Like, they wanted to keep Dan Quinn's job alive after the 2019 season. He brings Dan Quinn back for the 2020 season. Raheem Morris, the Falcons organization liked him when he was interim head coach as well. They brought him back. But the problem is, in my opinion, I'm not in the Falcons locker room, but this is just my opinion. I think the organization just gets too comfortable. Yeah, they brought Dan Quinn back, hooray, but what was really going to happen after that? It's not going to change the fact that he had two terrible starts. The 2018 and 2019 season started horrible for Dan Quinn. You're not going to look at the bigger picture and say maybe he's not the guy at head coach. Raheem Morris, I believe the reason Raheem Morris got hired as head coach is because Arthur Blank was like, when he was our interim head coach in 2020, we actually were doing okay. Our defense was doing better. We were a frisky team. We were at least trying to win the game. And the team loved Raheem Morris. And he was working with Jeff Ulbrich. We're going to bring what was working in 2020 and see if this can work in 2025. And it kind of worked. Like, the defense did get better with Jeff Ulbrich, but Arthur Blank, this is 2025. This is not 2020. 5 years apart is a long time. The NFL has changed. Just because of what Raheem Morris was doing in 2020 does not guarantee it will work in 2025. And sitting here at 3-7, I don't think it's working. Thomas Dimitroff, he kept him for another year as well. Thomas Dimitroff hasn't been drafting well. And he's like, he's made some good moves. He brought Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry, who were great picks, into the mix. But if we can just get them to draft the biggest needs possible, maybe our 2020 season will be great. So he gets Dante Fowler and all that. But I don't think Arthur Blank was realizing that this guy is not good at drafting pass rushers. And we get Marlon Davidson that year, and he was a bust. I could go on and on. It's just Arthur Blank gives chances to people that I'm not going to say they didn't deserve a chance because, at least he got along with those head coaches and general managers. But there were other candidates to go for, right? And you can just feel this energy. The fact that we consistently have 7-win seasons. I just think you're crazy if you think there's not this energy of this team settles. This team is settling. It doesn't seem like this team is ever pissed off if we lose. They get hyped up if we win, but it doesn't seem like they get pissed off if we lose. It feels like whenever the Falcons lose, it's just kind of all right, on to the next. Which is kind of nice because at least it's not going to cause too much drama, but it's just not working. We're not winning a lot of games. I think if we just get angrier that we haven't made the playoffs in 8 years, we could go far. But I don't think that energy is in the building when Arthur Blank is here. If Arthur Blank could just not ignore head coach candidates like Mike McDonald, Mike Vrabel, Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, Ben Johnson, if he could not ignore head coach candidates that really would have just made this team an actual angry competitor instead of hiring Dan Quinn and Raheem Morris because, the team loved these guys and, with them we were happy. We just need to get more aggressive. Arthur Blank needs to get more aggressive. Don't be too nice. Terry Fontenot is not the general manager. Raheem Morris is not the head coach. And I know Falcons fans have been commenting out on how Rich McKay kind of behind the scenes is kind of making some football decisions, even though he says he's not. And I'm not going to get too into that, but I'll also just take their word for it. So just get rid of Rich McKay just because it's funny. The president of our team. Arthur Blank has just got to get more angry. He's got to get more pissed. And I don't think this building is pissed with Arthur Blank. If he could just make moves like that he's ticked off, we could be a much more feistier team. But it's not just Arthur Blank, obviously. Thomas Dimitrov is a part of why we're here, because some of the players that Thomas Dimitrov drafted are still on this roster. But look, Thomas Dimitrov is gone. We're not going to talk about him. Terry Fontenot is the guy I really want to talk about. And he ain't so much of Scary Terry. Remember that meme on Twitter that Falcons fans used and that I used in the 2023 hype trailer on this channel? It's like this meme of him on a plane and he's kind of like this and there's like a laser eyes. Like, it's supposed to be he's Scary Terry. He's on the phone making moves. Don't mess with him. And yeah, I don't think that's Terry Fontenot. I don't think that's Terry Fontenot. I have a list of all of the draft picks that Terry Fontenot has made over the years on this phone right here, and I'm going to list them off. And I'll talk about some of his free agent signings as well. The problem with Terry Fontenot is he makes really smart moves, but there's always one move that happens to be the move that cost our season. I'll go over his draft first. He comes in 2021 and honestly does an okay job as a first-year general manager working with a first-year head coach, Arthur Smith. So he gets Richie Grant in the second round as a safety. He did okay. Taquan Graham was an okay defensive tackle. Nobody else really worth mentioning. I mean, except Jalen Mayfield was a bust. I don't really feel like going over him. But Kyle Pitts is the one pick that he made. And I know some of these picks are more of like, it was Arthur Smith's decision as well, but we'll get to him in just a second. Terry Fontenot goes for Kyle Pitts, and I'm not going to blame him too much for that just because everyone can agree that Kyle Pitts he looked like he was an incredible prospect coming out of Florida. And at the time, he wanted to win now under Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was known to throw to his tight ends all the time, but Kyle Pitts can also play receiver. Go for Kyle Pitts instead of Jamar Chase and all these players that everyone kind of makes fun of him for. I'm not going to blame him too much just because Kyle Pitts did have promise coming out of the year. I actually even liked the pick, and he had a good first year as a Falcon, 1,000 yards. It seemed promising. But remember when I said they wanted to win now under Matt Ryan? Again, I know some of this has to do with Arthur Smith, but we'll get to the coaches in a second. That's also the issue. Does anyone remember during that 2020 season when I was just screaming and crying for the Falcons to rebuild? We will not win a Super Bowl under Matt Ryan. We have got to just blow it all up. Do you remember that? That was my issue heading into the 2021 season. I'm thinking, yeah, I know Matt Ryan had an okay 2020 season, right? And I know you love the guy. You want to win now and have him leave Atlanta with a ring. But I just didn't think it was possible because the roster was in a terrible spot. Our roster was not talented at all. But by the time, it takes years to build a good roster. And by the time you build a good roster, Matt Ryan's not going to be a good quarterback because he's gotten older. And the quarterback position has just changed a lot anyway. And really the only quarterbacks we could have gotten in that 2021 draft was like Mac Jones and Justin Fields. And like, yeah, you can say what you will about those quarterbacks, but like, are you going to sit here and tell me that Justin Fields, Mac Jones right now, are you going to tell me that them as a passing quarterback right now are all that much different than 2021 Matt Ryan? Especially 2022 Matt Ryan. He was just completely washed. Justin Fields is obviously a better mobile quarterback. And like, if we had drafted Justin Fields, would it probably have worked out long term? Probably not. If we had gotten Mac Jones, maybe it would have worked long term, but probably not, right? But like, I mean, are you telling me with the way Matt Ryan played in the 2021 season and the 2022 season, that would have worked out? I don't think so. I don't think Justin Fields and Mac Jones were all that much of a different passing quarterback than Matt Ryan late in his career. And the way Matt Ryan played, he just kind of played, below average, I would say, in 2021. And I'm just thinking, yeah, this is the guy that they wanted to win now under. I know, tough love, but I'm just being honest. Matt Ryan is a great Falcons quarterback, but we were not going to win under him. I wanted to blow it up. And that, to me, is mostly why they got Kyle Pitts. It's because he would have been a good weapon for Matt Ryan to use and all this stuff. And they're making a mistake that I just don't think is ever going to work in the NFL. And that is a player playing the whole two-position thing. The Jaguars, Travis Hunter is a good example of, he can play corner and wide receiver, and he's just not really having a good year. Kyle Pitts can play receiver and tight end, and he's just not working. I just don't think the whole double position thing, I just don't think it works in the NFL. You just got to stick to one thing. So that pick, to me, Kyle Pitts was a great prospect coming out, but I think it was kind of to win now under Matt Ryan, and I will be critical of that. Now, 2022, he has a great draft, actually. Drake London, I admit I did not believe in that pick, but he is maybe even our best offensive weapon on the team. Arnold Ebiketie is a good pass rusher to get in the second round. Troy Anderson's a good linebacker. Tyler Allgeier's a good running back. He actually had a great draft in 2022. And he brings in Marcus Mariota in the offseason as a bit of a bridge quarterback, because when the Falcons saw how Matt Ryan was performing in 2021, the Falcons admitted, okay, yeah, maybe winning now under Matt Ryan isn't going to happen. I think we just kind of got to blow it all up and just try again. But Marcus Mariota is going to be our bridge quarterback. We're not going to go all the way with Marcus Mariota. He's just kind of here to kind of be a filler quarterback, help us just kind of improve just a little bit and see who we can get in the 2023 draft. So I don't even hate the Marcus Mariota signing, to be honest with you. But there's one big problem that Terry Fontenot made in that 2022 draft. Desmond Ridder in round 3, pick 74. That quarterback class was a mess in the 2022 season. Nobody wanted those quarterbacks. And all of those quarterbacks were kind of taken because it was a why not kind of thing. Like, let's just kind of see where this goes, but we're not really going to pay too much attention to them. The Falcons get Desmond Ridder because they're like, let's just kind of see where this goes. We do need a quarterback. Maybe he could be Dak Prescott, a quarterback drafted late, but could work out. And Terry Fontenot drafts him. And then Desmond Ridder, at some point late in the 2022 season, he plays a little bit. And Falcons fans totally exaggerated and overhyped how good he played. He didn't even play good, by the way. He played good, quote unquote, against trash teams. We played the Arizona Cardinals late in the season. They were trash that year. Desmond Ridder is going to look okay. He's going to look decent against the Cardinals there. And then who was the other trash team we played? I think it was like the Jags or something like that. I can't remember, but I just know they played 2 garbage teams. Oh yeah, and he beat Tom Brady. No, he didn't. The Bucs maybe that was the second trash team. It was just a team resting their starters. And Tom Brady was focused on retirement anyway. The Bucs were just kind of resting their starters. They're not going to take this game seriously. Maybe that was the second game I'm thinking of. I just know the Cardinals and the Bucs, he played, okay. But against real competition, like the Ravens, he was not good. His first ever NFL game against the Saints. I know it was his first game, but he just looked terrible. And Terry Fontenot should have looked at all of that, as a third-round quarterback and kind of know where this is going. But nope. Everyone in the Falcons organization, the fans, the coaches, everyone, they overhyped how okay Desmond Ridder played. He played okay. Maybe we'll just give him a go for the 2023 season instead of getting Lamar Jackson that was available in the 2023 offseason. Remember that the hot lady from ESPN that we made fun of that year? She said, Joy Taylor, I think. The lady that was on ESPN or whatever, she was like, I have friends in Atlanta, and let me tell you right now, the Falcons don't care about winning games. They don't care about winning games in Atlanta. And all us Falcons fans, including myself, we laughed at her, right? Like, we were like, what does she know about the Falcons? Like, the Falcons absolutely do care about winning games. Yeah, maybe they could have gotten a proven quarterback that's won MVP before, and Lamar Jackson that actually is the best running quarterback in the league, and he's a really damn accurate quarterback. To this day, he's probably still at least a top 3 to 5-ish quarterback in the league. We could get that, and that could really not only make our quarterback position set, but it also could attract free agents, attract players, attract coaches. And it's like, oh, wow, Atlanta has some good players. My cat just doing something over there. It could attract players. It could attract everyone, because who doesn't want to play with Lamar Jackson? And imagine what Arthur Smith could have done. Say what you will about him, but imagine what he could have done with Lamar freaking Jackson as a running quarterback. But nope. They go with Desmond Ridder because he played okay. Yeah, that worked out real well. Desmond Ridder was the worst frickin' Falcons quarterback ever. Or at least in modern day Falcons history. The worst modern day Falcons quarterback ever. By the way, we all Falcons fans should have known that if a hot girl says something, she's going to be right. She was right. The Falcons don't care about winning. 2023 is like the only draft where I think he actually did pretty good. Bijan Robinson, that was a little more of an Arthur Smith pick, let's be real. But hey, he's a great player. Matthew Bergeron was a good pick. Clark Phillips is okay. 2023, I don't think there was any problems in the 2023 draft, but the problem with the 2023 season is that they were all playing for a trash quarterback, Desmond Ridder. But then we get to 2024, and that was, to me, not even a question, his worst draft he's ever had. It starts with Michael Penix, the surprising pick. I like Michael Penix. He's fun to root for because he has a fun story. And when he's on his game, he's on his game. But the problem with Michael Penix, though, is, for one thing, for some reason, there's something about him that's just not, clicking. He's not developing as fast as he maybe should. I don't know if that's, a coach thing. I don't know if he just doesn't have, the fight in him inside. I don't know. For some reason, something's not clicking with Michael Penix right away. And I know he's still in his second year in the NFL. We should give him time and all that. But my issue with the Michael Penix pick is Terry Fontenot had signed Kirk Cousins in the 2024 offseason because this was the best quarterback that he could have picked up in that offseason, right? There weren't really any other big names. Kirk Cousins was a veteran. We already had the roster. We just needed the quarterback. And Kirk Cousins was a good enough quarterback to kind of at least get us to the playoffs. We didn't need to win a playoff game that year. We just needed to make the playoffs. We needed an adult in the building after just terrible quarterback play over the years. Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback, a likable person. It seems like anyone that plays with Kirk Cousins, it seems like they like him, both as a person and as a mentor. He has cool quarterback advice. And I think that part worked out. I think Kirk Cousins actually did do a good job of kind of getting the Falcons locker room straight a little bit, right? They had that pre-hype speech before the Bucks game in 2024, what was it? We walk in your trap, take over your trap thing, and the players were getting hyped up. Kirktober, like the locker room kind of, the thing that they were trying to have with Kirk Cousins actually was there. I think he did kind of build the locker room up, and the Falcons had something going. But I think Terry Fontenot didn't look closely enough at Kirk Cousins' injury. He was coming off an ACL injury. He's an older quarterback. And Terry Fontenot, I don't think, did a close enough job at that injury. And it was like, oh crap, this injury might be a little more serious than I think. We need quarterback insurance right now. Let's get Michael Penix. Fine. But why would you then go for an older quarterback in the draft with injury history? It's like you're drafting a younger Kirk Cousins that can move. Okay, maybe not literally, but like Michael Penix is young, obviously, but like compared to the other quarterbacks in the draft, he was older. So it's like you're not super confident in yourself that an older, injury-riddled right now, Kirk Cousins, is going to do the job for you. So you draft an older quarterback with an injury history? What? But Michael Penix can play when he's on his game, right? So Kirk Cousins, out of nowhere, just flops at the end of the 2024 season. Michael Penix comes in, and we realize, instead of using offensive players all these years in the first round, next year, to really get us to the playoffs, we have got to go for defense. So in 2025, the Falcons trade up. They get aggressive. Terry Fontenot knows his job is on the line, so they get 2 pass rushers in the first round. Jalen Walker from Georgia and James Pierce from Tennessee. And they're doing okay this year. They're okay rookies. Billy Bowman, Xavier Watts, they're great defensive players in the draft. The players that Terry Fontenot drafted are great, but the problem with this year is that it's too late. It's too late. The issues that Terry Fontenot made over the years, we should have gotten Lamar Jackson. We should have taken a closer look at Kirk Cousins' injury. It's just too late. It's too late. It all caught up to him. It all caught up to him, man. And he's made some other cool signings too. Like, he brought Jesse Bates in. That was a win. What else has he done? Justin Simmons. I guess it was hard to see his fall off coming. And Matthew Judon. But it's like he does great things, but like there's always one problem that he doesn't take a closer look at. That's like what I'm ultimately trying to get at here with Terry Fontenot. He doesn't take a closer look at things. He doesn't say, maybe winning now with Matt Ryan's not a great idea because he's an older guy that won't be who he is now when the roster is ready to play. Getting all these offensive players in the first round is great, but we need a defense. Lamar Jackson is a proven quarterback instead of this third round Desmond Ridder. He doesn't take a close look at these things. He doesn't take a close look. It's kind of like a short-term vision general manager, in my opinion. He's like very short-term. But it's not all on him. It's also on the head coaches. And that's a good transition to the head coaches. Arthur Smith. It was fun defending him when I was making consistent videos on this channel, right? Like, I was like a big Arthur Smith guy. And he did a lot of cool things. Like, the offense was actually kind of fun to watch when he was there. But I think both Raheem Morris and Arthur Smith and Dan Quinn, all of their issues is that they have ego. There's this, like, little ego going on with them. Dan Quinn was supposed to be brought in to be this defensive guru because he's from the Legion of Boom and he's going to fix our defense. And Dan Quinn, like when he was with the Falcons, he kept trying to do this like Legion of Boom stuff, and I don't know, like he did so many. There wasn't really a pass rush with the Falcons, and like what you're trying to do, Dan Quinn, you keep doing this over and over, and it's not working, but it worked back then. Arthur Smith, he's trying to do what he did in Tennessee with the whole, he doesn't need this great quarterback to play for him, just a quarterback that does what he says, play action, either give it to your bruising running back or play action That's what he wanted to do with his team. Oh, who needs a great quarterback? I got Desmond Ridder. He's just going to either hand it off to our version of Derrick Henry and Bijan Robinson, or we're going to throw it deep and give it to these strong receivers and play action. That's what Arthur Smith wanted to keep doing, and it kind of worked, but like, you need good quarterback play. Raheem Morris, what was he really brought here to do, if you think about it? Like, what was he really brought here to do other than the Falcons just kind of liked the guy when he was here? And, like, he's friends with Arthur Blank. He was friends with Arthur Blank, but what was he really brought here to do? Like, Mike McDonald could have really fixed your defense. Mike Vrabel could have fixed your defense, and he's, like, known to, like, be, like, the tough guy and, like, the guy that sets the locker room straight. Ben Johnson's the offensive guru. What the hell was Raheem Morris? Like, he's, like, a defensive guy, but, like, you know, was any team... Actually, you know what? Show of hands. Was any Falcons fan, like, super ecstatic when Raheem Morris got hired as head coach? Anyone? No. I don't see any hands, literally, but also I don't think there will be any hands. Who was excited for Raheem Morris when he came in as head coach? Who? Every Falcons fan ever was like, so you just interviewed Bill Belichick, even though it probably wouldn't have worked out. I think Bill Belichick is out of his prime, but he was there. And Jim Harbaugh, I think, was always going to be a Charger just because he played for the Chargers at one point. But you still could have tried to get him, right? But every other person, it's like Ben Johnson, you could have hired him. Maybe he just really was committed to winning a Super Bowl in Detroit before he leaves. But the two I just really cannot forgive is, why did you not hire Mike McDonald? Why did you not hire Mike Vrabel? Why? You go for Raheem Morris. No one sat there and said, oh man, Raheem Morris is a must-hire. No one said that. Raheem Morris is the rah-rah guy. And, oh, you know, he's kind of a funny head coach. And, you know, the Falcons like this guy. Well, did he have any... He was a head coach before... Long time ago, I know, but it's not like he did great with the Bucs when he was head coach. And interim head coach, people, just like Desmond Ridder, they overreacted to how he performed. He was better than Dan Quinn as a head coach that year, yes, but like he wasn't that good. Like the team was just kind of, you know, like feisty and like just kind of below average when Raheem Morris was interim head coach. There was nothing about his history that would have told you that he's a great head coach. No one was excited for it. No one will be excited for it because I don't see how he keeps his job. But it's not just that he wasn't this top-name head coach candidate. Raheem Morris he's too comfy. That Dolphins game that I went to this year, I think absolutely told me everything I need to know about Raheem Morris and the Falcons building. You know what Raheem Morris did this year? Well, we beat the Bills. Well, we beat the Commanders. Yeah, we just lost to the 49ers, but it's the Miami Dolphins. We'll get over it. We'll win. We'll take it easy. We don't have to practice too hard. Let's just kind of focus on the Patriots and the Colts coming up. And the Falcons get boat raced. They don't stand a chance against the Dolphins because you can tell the team was not prepared. Whereas other coaches like Mike McDonald, Mike Vrabel, no matter who they're playing, good coaches don't overlook opponents. They don't overlook opponents. They prepare no matter what. You beat the shit out of bad teams. And Raheem Morris took it easy, wanted to just expect that they'll cruise through the Dolphins, and that was the last thing they did. And then, it's time to turn things around. You know, my job is officially on the line now. Got to win this Patriots and Colts game. And I know part of it is not all on him. I know our kicker just missed the extra point against the Patriots and all that. So it's not all on him. But, you know, the Commanders game last year, Raheem, call the timeout. And maybe our playoff chances would have been sealed. Maybe your chances as a head coach would have been in a much better spot. Raheem Morris is just not... He's a good defensive coordinator. If he was our defensive coordinator, I honestly wouldn't even be mad. But, like, As a head coach, I don't think he's got what it takes. I just don't. I don't think he's got what it takes. I don't think he prepares the team enough. And I know you're about to say, well, at least the team is feisty under Raheem Morris. Yeah, well, the team is feisty under everybody. Dan Quinn, when they were fighting for his job, like the 2020 season, they almost beat the Cowboys, and then they don't prepare for an onside kick, which I'm still mad about. Arthur Smith, they were feisty, but they didn't really win a lot of games. Raheem Morris, they're feisty. They almost beat the Commanders. They almost beat the Patriots. They almost beat the Colts. Every one of these coaches, it's always a so close but no cigar conversation, and I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of this. I don't think he's the guy. I don't see how Terry Fontenot keeps his job. I don't see how Raheem Morris keeps his job. Arthur Blank, it's just time to make moves that really makes our team competitive. We need to be a winner. And I just don't think the Falcons are a winner. I don't think the Falcons under Arthur Blank are a winning franchise. I just think they're this like cool team. It's comfy in Atlanta. And it's just cool to be in Atlanta, but they're not like a winning team. And it's just so unfortunate. What do we do from here? Other than get rid of the guys I just said, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris. Do you keep Michael Penix? I mean, I feel like you have to, right? Like, you don't have a first-round pick for next year. I feel like you kind of have to see what he can do under another head coach. Do I know any head coach candidates that are coming up right now? Not really at the moment, but, like, I imagine you probably go for an offensive-minded guy just because that's, like, the key position you have got to develop soon. You have got to develop Michael Penix. You have to get a quarterback whisperer, I think. Because defense, I think, will be okay if we keep Jeff Ulbrich. I think he's like the only guy that's been, mostly pretty good this year. He's fallen off late in the season, but I think he's good enough to keep for next year. Because the Falcons aren't going to, win the Super Bowl next year, right? So just see where he's going to be for next year. Because he's done a mostly good job. At least the pass rush has looked good. The pass rush is what's been struggling for like our whole lifetime. And that's like the one big thing that has improved drastically under Jeff Ulbrich. So you keep him. I think you get rid of Zach Robinson and find whoever this head coach's offensive coordinator is going to be. But general manager, I don't know how you even hire a general manager. So whatever Arthur Blank decides to do, please look at the bigger picture, Arthur Blank. Please look at the bigger picture. Don't just hire and settle. I just think it's time to stop ignoring big names and giving people too many chances where we probably shouldn't have in hindsight. It's time to just get pissed off. It's time to get mean. And I just don't think that's the Falcons. They're just not a mean team. And it's like, I wish I could say that things are going to turn around next year, but barring some Cinderella story, I just don't think it will. We have to hope we can at least make the playoffs. I'm okay with making the playoffs only next year and getting a winning season, but Arthur Blank's got to get more aggressive, is all I'm really trying to get at. And this team will never change. If Arthur Blank continues to make the moves that he's been doing over the years, it doesn't matter the easy schedule that we get every year. Not this year, but it doesn't matter the easy schedule we get. It doesn't matter the big names we get, like Jesse Bates. It doesn't matter the offensive weapons we have. It doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter how easy the division used to be. The Falcons will forever be a so close but no cigar team as long as Arthur Blank makes the moves that he does. And he keeps making the same mistakes, and it's frustrating. Get more feisty, and maybe we can win. And that's about all I really got. I don't think I want to do this again. Hopefully the Falcons will just be good again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe the Falcons will take notice of this. We'll see. Rise up and stay true to the team. I know it's hard, but it'll change. Something good will come out of this. When? I don't know, but it will one day. Look at the Detroit Lions. Did any of those fans think what was coming now was going to happen? They probably thought they were screwed, right? But something came out of it. One day. One day. But hopefully until next year, I guess.